Welcome everybody out there. Today I am going to discuss as well as do a very important life-saving technique for all ages. Now you are probably wondering, what kind of technique am I going to discuss today? And you'll be astonished as to how simple this technique is if you do it every day. But I will introduce you to this technique, what it's all about. And what we're going to do today is wake up the 3 very important glands in our body with a very special and simple exercise technique for everybody. But before we start, I'm going to discuss these 3 glands and why they are so important. These are the Thymus, Thalamus and Hypothalamus brain regions. My technique will test if your glands are functioning correctly. But we'll do this practical exercise after my explanation. Now, some of you might not know what these glands do, but they control the entire endocrine system. And if something is not functioning between those 3 glands, then it is a serious matter. But let me explain first what each of these glands do, and then we start our practical exercise. Number 1, the thymus. The thymus is a very small, irregular-shaped gland, and a very specialized organ or group of cells that produce or release substances such as hormones, saliva, digestive juices, your sweat, tears or milk production, and it performs the different functions in the body. But what are these functions? The thymus gland is in the chest, between the lungs and behind the breastbone, which is called the sternum. It is just in front of and above the heart. The thymus makes white blood cells called T lymphocytes, also called T cells. And these are an important part of the body's immune system, which helps us to fight infection. The second gland is the thalamus. The thalamus is crucial for perception, with 98% of all sensory input being relayed by it. The thalamus is a small structure within the brain located just above the brain stem, between the cerebral cortex and the midbrain, and has extensive nerve connections to both. The primary function of the thalamus is to relay motor and sensory signals to the cerebral cortex. It also regulates sleep, alertness, and wakefulness. The thalamus contributes to a broad range of very critical functions. Therefore, the side effects of the thalamus damage can vary from person to person, of course. But some of the most common side effects of thalamic damage will include sensory issues such as tingling, numbness, hypersensitivity, chronic pain, vision loss or light sensitivity, motor impairments, tremors, attention problems, memory loss, aphasia, and insomnia. Now we come to the third gland, the hypothalamus. The hypothalamus is a small pea-like structure, but important area in the center of the brain. It plays an extremely important role in the hormone production and helps to stimulate many important processes in the body, and is located in the brain between the pituitary gland and the thalamus. When the hypothalamus is not working properly, it can cause problems in the body that lead to a wide range of rare disorders. So maintaining the hypothalamic health is vital because of this. Now, it does govern the body temperature, your thirst, appetite and weight control, your emotions, sleep cycles, sex drive, childbirth, blood pressure and heart rate, production of digestive juices, and balancing the bodily fluids. As different systems and parts of the body send signals to the brain, they alert the hypothalamus to any unbalanced factors that need addressing. The hypothalamus then responds by releasing the right hormones into the bloodstream to balance the body. Now, what happens when you have a hypothalamus disorder or disorders? Now, these are some of the symptoms. It depends, of course, on what hormones are in short supply. Children might show signs of abnormal growth and abnormal puberty. Adults might show symptoms linked to the various hormones their bodies cannot produce. There is, interestingly, a traceable link between the absent hormones and the symptoms they produce in the body. Two more symptoms might include blurred vision, loss of vision, and headaches. Low adrenal function might produce symptoms such as weakness and dizziness. Symptoms caused by an overactive thyroid gland include sensitivity to heat, anxiety, feeling irritable, mood swings, tiredness and difficult sleeping, and a lack of sex drive, diarrhea or runny tummy, constant thirst and itchiness. A good working hypothalamus is one of the most important parts of the body, and it usually gives unnoticed symptoms unless it stops working properly. Now let us begin with our practical exercise to test if any of those three glands are functioning normally. Now I'm sure you're wondering, now what is Celeste going to be doing? I have been doing this exercise for over 30 years, and I'm talking from my own personal experience. As we know, many of you out there, I do a lot of Qigong as well as yoga exercises, and this is something, we like to do quite often as a precautionary technique to exercise our qi, our CHI, qi for energy. We like to awaken the qi, and you won't believe it. It's a beautiful feeling to know that your body is functioning between the physical, mental, and the spiritual. And this is definitely not hogwash here, or something which is just out of the fingertips. This does work, and I have done this as I say, for over 30 years. And it really is a life-saving process because it does awaken the energy or the chi in your body, and those glands are extremely important. And many people don't realize this. They rush to the doctor gives them high doses of pills, medical treatments, sometimes even unnecessary operations. And I promise you, and I really mean it, from my experience, working with so many people over the years, that this form of technique is so simple, unbelievably simple, and it can reduce all kinds of dysfunctions in the body if you use it at least every day before getting out of bed. But enough of that. I will tell you this at the end of this procedure. Right, I want you to find a nice comfortable position. And this is also a podcast, so you can also look at the video on YouTube, everybody, and you'll see exactly how I perform these steps. Now, I'm just taking a look at the steps that we're going to go through. We have at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 steps. And it's so simple to do. Even a 2-year-old can also do this, and there are a couple of 2-year-olds who do learn from their parents this wonderful technique. Right, let us begin. Now you have a comfortable position, sitting on your favorite cushion or a carpet, whatever, but it must be a very quiet position and no disturbances, because we are going to now focus on the upper chest region. Please bring the palms of your hands together in a praying position in the middle of your breastbone. Now, with this exercise technique, it's important each step that we do and the breaks in between that you breathe in slowly and wait for 5 seconds and then exhale slowly. Repeat this at least 5 times to get your body relaxed. Now step 2. Form a fist in your right hand or a ball, and leave the palm of your left hand open with the fingertips facing the sky. Please pound your fist 30 times against your left palm in a very rhythmical action. And when you do this, keep that left palm as straight as possible. Now take a break and then do the inhaling and exhaling at least once or twice in this case before you repeat this action with the left fist against your right palm. You should start feeling a tingling sensation. If you don't, repeat this exercise, please, until you do. Between each step, please pause and inhale and exhale slowly before you continue this tapping technique. Thirdly, ball both of your hands into a fist and start patting gently under your collarbones, exactly like you see in the video. 30 times in a rhythmic action. You might feel a little tenderness in this area, but this is quite normal if you are not used to this type of exercise. Now again, breathe in and breathe out a few times. Now the fourth step is to cross your arms over your chest and repeat this exercise again. Tap in a little harder 30 times and then again until you feel a tingling sensation in this area. Now remember, when you're crossing your arms over each other with your right fist underneath your collarbone and the left on the right collarbone underneath. We don't want to tap the collarbone, we only want to tap underneath the collarbone. When you're finished, breathe in again and then breathe out as long as you need to. There's no fixed rule there. The fifth step is to take your fist to the center of your chest, like you see the apes do. Repeat this rhythmically again 30 times. And you can pat even a little bit harder depending on the tenderness of that area. Then stop and breathe in slowly and out again. Repeat another 30 times if you feel like there is no feeling of tingliness or warmth in your palms or even in that area. Now the seventh part of this technique is, if you do not experience any of these sensations, I want you to repeat the exercise again. If, however, there is no change in the blood circulation to the head area, then there is a possibility of an underlying hormonal dysfunction in one of those glands. I'm going to give you a tip, a very important piece of advice here. This exercise technique should be done as a morning routine every day before you climb out of your bed, or make yourself that first cup of coffee, or before you grab your mobile phone, or you rush into great stress to other morning habits. I want you to pause and stop and get into the habit of doing this exercise first thing before you get out of that bed in the morning. If you need to put your alarm clock on for 6 o'clock, make sure you put it on much later if you can, and do this exercise before you get up. Now, this technique, if you do it on a daily basis, will also save your life and improve your health tremendously. And it has been known also to prevent certain cancers in the body. Now, if old people would do this as well in nursing homes and get into the habit of practicing this every morning, you'll find more vigor in their lives, as well as a lot of dysfunctions that they normally would have connected to old age symptoms will disappear slowly. So basically, when you think about it, you are awakening that energy in your body, mentally, physically, and spiritually. And it's no laughing matter. If you don't do it, you'll not know what it's all about. You won't feel the sensation. You won't see the healing processes. So keep an open mind before you do this technique, that it can only do you a lot of good, as well as increase your lifespan. And what is important is your stress levels will drop tremendously Plus that immune system is given an enormous boost. You can do this technique throughout the day whenever you feel you need it. For more information, you may reach out to me for a free consultation or free workshop to explain how this technique works, as well as any other techniques that you may be interested in, as well as learning to meditate the correct way. And you'll see a lot of videos on my website as well. And you can get in touch with me with no problem via Skype. And I look forward to helping you in your health program, and any questions that you may have, of course, I will answer them. But, if you don't do this particular technique, you won't understand how it functions. And it's amazing that just this small little exercise every morning of your life will change the entire health spectrum. And as I say, if you need more information, please get in touch with me and I will help you in any way I can. All the best and namaste. Celeste.